What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games, and in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about effort values and how to give your Pokemon perfect effort values in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And of course, guys, you enjoy these Pokemon guides, please subscribe, like the video. I really appreciate it. So, effort values are stats that you gain when you defeat particular Pokemon. There are 6 different stats in Pokemon. There's HP, attack, defense, speed, def, and special attack. And all of these stats is what makes your Pokemon unique. They'll actually tell you if a Pokemon's pretty much going to be a good mon or a bad mon. Of course, moves and abilities tie into all of that as well. But it all begins at effort values. And if you're going to be doing high-end raids, especially 6-star raids, or going to be playing VGC competitive Pokemon, you're going to want to optimize your effort values because every little bit of damage or a hit that you can survive is going to matter a lot. To begin, you can see your Pokemon's EVs on the stat and move screen under summary, and you can hit the L button to switch between their numbered stats and their EV stats. So looking at the EV stat screen here, you can see that I have 2 golden stats. That means these stats are maxed out. And in order to max a stat, you need to put 252 EVs into a stat. A Pokemon can have a total of 510. So the best way to optimize this is 252 in 2 stats and then 4 EVs in another stat. So as an example, you would put like 252 in special attack, 252 in speed, and then 4 in HP. Then there is 2 leftover EVs, but they don't actually do anything because EVs are divisible by 4. So every 4 EVs is 1 point. So 252 divided by 4 is 63. So with this HP stat here, right? If you subtract 63 from 406, that is what my raw HP stat would be for my Skeledirge. Getting 63 points is pretty massive for your Pokemon, which is why EV training is so important. To note, when you catch a Pokemon for the first time, whether from a raid or in the wild, or whether from an in-game trade, they're going to have 0 effort values, which makes them a perfect starting point for you to add effort values to. However, let's say you're using a Pokemon like this Braxcalibur I use in the story mode, all the EVs are completely messed up, and you can reduce the EVs in this game. It's not necessarily the easiest, but there is a way to farm the particular item to do it. So there are berries that can reduce the EVs if you want to do that. And I got a couple of them here. So reduce speed, def, special attack, defense, attack, and I have one for HP, but I don't have it in my box right now. You can farm these. I made a video on how to farm these easily with some sort of switch manipulation, but if you want to reset a Pokemon you're using in your story, then you're going to have to use one of these EV reducing berries. Now, the fastest way to increase your effort values is to spend big money. And you can do this at any Chansey Supply in the game. The Chansey Supply stores get upgraded while you're playing the game, completing more stories. So once you have enough tasks done, you'll be able to buy these items. And these stat items are very expensive, 10,000 for one. Each one of these increases your value by 10 points. So 252 divided by 10 here is you're going to need 25 just to get 250 EVs. That is $250,000. $250,000 just to get one stat done. So to completely finish your Pokemon, you're going to have to spend $500,000, and then you can pop buy one of these to finish off the last stat. That's a lot of money, and there are ways to farm money, but at the end of the day, if you're doing a lot of Pokemon, this is going to be very expensive. So I would only recommend this if you want to do it very quickly for a few Pokemon. But if you're trying to do a whole box of Pokemon, then this is not going to be your only solution. Now, the cheaper method to increase your EVs is to go to Delibird Presents, and you need to buy all of the power items. Each power item is associated with a different effort value stat, and each one of these increases your EV gains by 8. So let's say you take out a Lechonk, right? Lechonk is going to give you 1 effort value towards HP. So whenever you take out Lechonk with a power weight on, you're getting 9. 252 divided by 9 is going to be 28. And that's all you have to do. You have to take out 28 Lechonks to get your HP to max. And I have to note, auto battle does not increase your EVs. You have to do 28 legit battles. So it can take some time to do that. And one last thing before you begin EV trading, it is very important to note, because this game has experience share always on, all the Pokemon in your party will gain EV. So my Berserker, let's say he gains an attack EV, everyone in my party is also going to gain the same amount of attack EVs. I mean, unless they're not holding the band. If they're all holding the band, then they'll all gain the same amount. But if I kill something that gives me attack EVs, everyone else is going to get some amount of attack EVs. So make sure to utilize your box and put away Pokemon. Let's say a tank Pokemon in your party, you don't want any attack, or a special attacker, you don't want any attack stat on it. Put that Pokemon away when training up your attackers. So this is a good thing and a bad thing, because if you want to level up all your special attackers at once, you can. That's awesome. But if you have your team mixed up, not going to be great. And the last thing to make this process as fast as possible is to use a sandwich. So the first Pokemon we're going to be hunting is for HP, which is going to be Marill and Azumarill in the lake area. Because Marill and Azumarill are water and fairy types, and there's a lot of water types there, and I just want to focus on them, I'm going to use Encounter type Fairy level 2 to increase the spawn rate of all fairy type Pokemon. This will work in a way where much more Marills and Azumarills will spawn, so I can just focus on them and get those HP EVs as quickly as possible. The lake area is going to be the fastest for HP EVs. There's 3 particular Pokemon that give us HP EVs here. Slowpoke gives us 1 HP effort value. Slowbro does not, so do not kill any Slowbros or you're not going to be getting HP effort values. They give a defense one. Marill and Azumarill are the much safer one, and they actually travel in packs together. Marill gives us 2 HP values, and Azumarill gives us 3. So all you have to do is engage them in combat and take them out. And because we put the sandwich on, we're going to be seeing a lot more groups of these. So this is why it's as easy as possible. I mean, considering that we saw 4 Marills already and 2 Azumarills and a Slowpoke immediately, you'll be maxing out your HP in no time. Next up is attacking EVs, and there's a lot of Pokemon that give us a boost here. We got Scyther, who gives us 1. We have Pawniard, who gives us 1. Bisharp with 2, Luxway with 3, and Low Kicks with 2. And honestly, I would actually recommend that you don't even necessarily need to put a food item on, because there's so many Pokemon that just naturally spawn here by running around that you'll eventually just be able to do this. And you can save up on some food items. But if you wanted to use a food, I would recommend probably using a dark type encounter to get the Bisharps, Pawniard, and Low Kicks to spawn for you. Going back to the lake, we're going to be farming Avalogs and Burmites for defense EVs. Burmites will give us 1. Avalogs will give us 2. Slowbros will also give us 2 as well. Anywhere in the lake area, on the land or in the water, they can appear, but I do recommend using an ice encounter power to make them appear more frequently. For special attacking EVs, I recommend going outside of Porto, because you can get Giraffarigs and Flaffies, and both of these drop 2 special attacking EVs. Back to the lake we go, but this time focusing on the main isle in the lake. We're going to be farming Swablu for 1 special defense EV and Altaria for 2, and also Goomy Slagoo can spawn here as well for Goomy with 1, Slagoo for 2. So I do recommend using a dragon encounter rate to get as many as possible. And lastly, for speed, found right under Lavencia, there's a lot of different Pokemon that we can get here. There's a lot of 1 and 2, so I actually sort of recommend you don't even need an encounter power. I currently have one up for Cyclizar, which does drop 2, but Corvuswire and Palma also drop 2 EVs for speed. For 1, you can get Deerling, Murkrow, Rookidee, Pawmi, and Watchroll. And there we have it, guys. That is how you farm EVs in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I hope this guide was helpful, and if it was, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, because we're going to be covering Pokemon Scarlet and Violet continuously with more guides, any glitch updates, and more. Peace out and have a good one.